our guest, this lovely lady sitting next to me. I met her at the fitness center.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a little plug for the Snap Fitness Center.
Okay.
And she's always very polite and very talkative to everybody, and she worked out harder than anybody remembers. And I asked Mike Hatch, that gal, she really works out. You remember Mike Hatch?
Sure.
You know her story? He said she's one of the gold diggers. The Dean Martin show? Yeah. And you're kidding me. He said, no, she was.
I was
And he
fortunate.
says, he told me how to bring you up on TV. Mm-hmm. And right away, there you were. So I thought, I mentioned this to Ray, and this would be an excellent gal to talk to.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here
you're
with you.
You were in a type of world that all we just see, you know, on TV.
Well, you're a legend, Ernie. You don't, you know.
You mean in my own mind? Or?
No, in the world.
Well, this was about you now.
Okay.
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 Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
And first I want to say that Paula is one of the gold diggers from the...
Was
one of the gold diggers from the Dean Martin show.
Although I never found the gold, I'm still digging.
You're still getting
Yeah.
okay. And when asked her if she would like to do this, she said, well, yeah, sure. And she gave me a scrapbook to look at, her scrapbook, and there it is right there, the Gold Diggers.
That was our first album that we did.
And if you folks remember the Gold Diggers, there are a bunch of beautiful gals who could sing and dance that were on the Dean Martin show years ago.
That's right.
Not too many years ago. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go. You're from Akron originally.
I am. I most definitely am.
Where did you go to school?
Born and raised. I went to I went to several different schools, but I ended up in St. Mary's High School.
Uh-huh.
And I graduated in 1968. And I just throw this in, there are a whole bunch of us that graduated in 1968. We call ourselves the Bells of St. Mary's.
Oh,
We
really?
go out to dinner once a month,
Well,
still,
wonderful. That's great.
after all these years.
Great.
It's an awesome thing.
Mhm. Well, then, when did you start singing? Or
Well, I
dancing
got
and all?
interested in the theater when I was about 12 years old. I saw the movie Bye Bye Birdie, and it was like the greatest thing I'd ever seen in the world, and I wanted to be that character. And I acted it out all over the house, and my mom saw something in the paper about auditions for the Goodyear Musical Theater for Bye Bye Birdie. And she asked me if I wanted to go. I said, yes. So I went to that. I got to be in the chorus, which I loved, and that was kind of my start. And by the time I was 15, I started doing parts in the theater. I don't know if you remember the Goodyear Musical Theater, but it was a wonderful, wonderful place to be back in the 60s.
Yes, well, yeah, I remember that That's not too far back for me.
Well, it was a ways back.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, when I was 15, I was hired by a man by the name of John Kenley. He used to have the Kenley Players.
Yeah, the Players, right.
Yeah, he hired me to come to work for him in the summer, and I got my Actors Equity card. I met several people from New York, and they all said, you know, if you're serious about this, you should really move to New York. So I made up my mind that that's what I was going to do. So after I graduated from high school, 1968, I worked for John Kenley that summer, once again. And then I packed my bags and I moved to New York City with $500 in my pocket. And my best friend,
Brave gal.
I was 17, you know, and I didn't know anything about New York except that that's what you're supposed to be if you want to be on Broadway, and that's what my aspirations were. My girlfriend and I moved there together, and the first audition I went to was for the Dean Martin show for the Gold Diggers, and I was in the right place at the right time, so they hired me. And the next thing I knew, I was on a plane to California, where I joined the group that had already been together for 1 year. We were called the Dean Martin Summer Replacement Show, the Gold Diggers. Although we were on his show as well, we had our own show in the summertime. So I joined in time to do that. I did it for 2 years. We did, oh my goodness, we traveled all around the country. The first year we did a lot of state fairs and even local fairs. We followed one time, I remember, the Scots Unridable Mule Act, and there were they left piles around of their business that we had to step over. It was really strange, but it was a lot of fun. It was tiring. We worked very, very hard, and we did nightclub acts, and then for me, the highlight of the whole experience was going to Vietnam with Bob Hope in 1969 and 1970. We entertained the troops, and there were so many...
There we have it, folks.
So many people that you couldn't really see where they ended. They were just kind of starved for entertainment.
What a storied career. Just as you did whatever you wanted, right? You did whatever
I set
your
out.
ambition, whatever
Yes,
you did.
I set out to do it.
And it seems like somebody was waiting for you there to help you right along.
I was in the right place at the right time.
Right, and
I just...
My son Michael was in the
blessed.
show business for a while.
Okay.
Soap operas, he'd been in some movies and all that. And he left it because he got so tired of going to an audition with 500 guys there.
Oh, gee.
He was unemployed continually until he got a role.
Well...
But for you, it seems like you had
How
many rabbit's feet did you have in your pocket?
No, I didn't have any, but I had
Good talent.
Remember that girl, Marlo Thomas?
Yeah.
Well, I felt like her because she had a show where she was in New York City and she was an actress, and I wanted to be like her. So I moved there and I got a job in an office. I had office skills from high school. And the next thing I knew, I was auditioning for the Dean Martin show and on a plane to California. And I did it for 2 years, and I made a lot of friends, met a lot of wonderful people, a lot of celebrities, and like I say, going to Vietnam was an absolute blessing. It was something that you only can imagine.
Well, what kind of a guy was Bob Hope? You've heard different stories.
Well, you know, both of them, Dean Martin and Bob Hope, they were both excellent to us. Bob Hope was very, very friendly. We traveled to Vietnam on what is it called? One of those big aircraft carriers, I think it's called. We flew over to...
the America, Enterprise, a bunch of them.
Well, it was like just for Bob Hope for the Christmas show. And it was all decorated up for Christmas. And it was a party from start to finish, the whole trip. We went around the world 2 times and stayed when we were in Vietnam in Bangkok and commuted to Vietnam on choppers every day, where we would go to do our show. It would be all set up for us, and we would just show up, do our show with Bob Hope. It lasted for a couple hours, and we would try to say hello to all the fans that were out there, but it was impossible to do that because they made us get right back on the chopper and leave because there were bombs going off.
Oh, really?
Yes. As we were flying away, we could hear it. And a lot of those faces...
So you're in a combat zone. A combat veteran also.
We were. We went all over
That's great.
Vietnam. Sometimes we did 3 shows in one day.
I'll bet the guys were really happy to see you. Bunch of
they
beautiful
were.
gals.
We were there at Christmas time.
Oh, boy.
And they were definitely happy to see us.
How many times did you go to Vietnam? Twice?
Well, I was there 2 years with the Gold Diggers, so I went 2 times. And it was a great opportunity.
How long were you there each time?
Well, the trip lasted for a couple of weeks, and we were in Bangkok for, I would say, a week. And flying back and forth to Vietnam in the choppers.
Did you have a lot of guards around you?
We each had our own bodyguard.
Imagine,
Oh yeah, it was very, My parents were very worried that I was over there. And I was homesick because I had always been home for Christmas, and this was my first time away. And it was just an extraordinary experience. I don't know how else to put it.
Can I ask one more question?
Oh, you can ask anything.
Okay, when's the book coming out?
The book. People have asked me that. You never know.
That'd be great. You could talk it if you didn't want to take the time to write, just like you're talking now.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Well, it would be interesting to some people. I don't know if it would be interesting to everybody, but
Well,
there maybe are some certain people.
Just from how you started,
Yeah.
Bye Bye Birdie,
Bye Bye Birdie.
and you got that iron will to move ahead, and you went
John
every
Kenley.
step
John
you made.
Kenley was very instrumental.
Yeah. Now, did you take any voice lessons?
You know, later, after I quit the Gold Diggers, because I really wanted to be on Broadway. That's what I wanted to do.
You got some good
I
parts
did some
there,
Broadway.
too.
Yeah. I went back to New York, and I met a commercial agent, and I started working in commercials, and I did hundreds of commercials from the time I was 21 till I got to be about 40, and then they stopped hiring me because I was too old or I wasn't appropriate for whatever they needed me for that they had been interested in the past. So I made the decision to come back to Ohio. I did that in 1996. I wanted to be with my mom. So I came back to be with her.
Yeah, here's some of the articles in the Beacon Journal.
Oh yeah, I was in a bad car accident.
A lot of publicity.
When I was in the Gold Diggers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were about to start a production with Gene Kelly in Las Vegas. It was called 50 Girls, Count 'em 50. We had done a television show with him, and it was popular, and our producer Greg Garrison decided to make a show in Las Vegas with us. We were supposed to start rehearsals the next day. I was in a terrible car accident that kind of had me laid up for about almost 3 months.
Oh my!
Yeah, so
Where
I
did
didn't
this happen,
get
Las
to
Vegas?
get Los Angeles.
Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'd gone to the movies with my girlfriend, one of the girls. We had a little time off, and we had gone to the movies, and we had a collision, and I got the brunt of it. But I came through. I just didn't get to go and be in the show with Gene Kelly, like I had planned. So you never know why these things happen. They happen. They just come up. But I got better, and I joined them. We went to London. That was really fun. We went to London and we did.
What outfit was this again?
The Gold Diggers.
Gold Diggers
on
again.
The Dean Martin
after
show.
the automobile accident.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was still employed by them, but I wasn't able to do the show because I had to get better.
Yeah.
And I was kind of broken up, like my teeth and my arm and my leg and all kinds of things. But my mom came out to help me out. I got better. I really did get better. But, I always was afraid to get in a car. I still am a little bit. But
In Los Angeles, that's a demolition derby there.
ooh, it's a scary place to drive.
Yeah, I won't drive out
No,
there.
I wouldn't,
Let
no.
my sons drive, or I take a bus.
Right, exactly.
I don't even take a cab. I'm too afraid of a cab driver.
Yeah, it's kind of scary out there in the
really.
car. Yeah, but so I went back to New York and I started doing commercials. I think I told you, and I did those for many, many years. And came home and turned into a waitress. And I became a real good waitress.
You were out at the Galaxy, as I understand, weren't you?
No. No, when I first came back to Ohio, I worked at the Carousel Dinner Theater.
Carousel, okay.
Yes, I don't know if you remember that. It was
I
a great place.
Yeah.
I was a server, but I got to see the shows, and I always said to myself, if there was a vehicle that I could be a part of, I would try out, but there never was. But then I went to a different job. I worked at a restaurant called Hyde Park in Montrose.
That's the one I mixed up with. I
That's
remember
okay.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I worked there for 10 years, and then I fell down and broke my hip.
Oh, my.
While I was working, and that set me back, way back. So I never went back to the restaurant business. So I'm pretty much retired, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, not the way you work out.
Well, I have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, she gets on the elliptical, and
For
the
an
only
hour.
way to get her off is shoot her, you know.
No,
She works out real hard.
I like to swim too.
Yeah.
And I've taken a great interest in my nephews' careers. My nephews, I had the great good fortune to live with my brother and his family, his wife, and his 2 sons. His 3rd son lives in Arizona. And the 2 sons that are here in Akron are about to turn 12 and 16. And they have become interested in the theater.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it started out where the older one was in a high school production of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and he played Willy Wonka. And he really was so good that the little one got involved in it too, and he's about to play the part of the genie in Aladdin at St. Francis de Sales.
Oh, my.
Then they got involved in the Weather Vane Theater. So I've been, I'm proud, I'm a very
certainly.
proud aunt.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate to be able to live with my brother
Uh-huh.
and his wife. My brother's an excellent painter, house painter. Greg's Painting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a little plug for him. But anyway, we have a wonderful family, and, family is really the most important thing now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My son, youngest son, the one that told you was out, he's still out in California.
Yeah.
Instead of being an actor now, he owns fitness center.
Does he?
Yeah. He comes in in fact, he's coming in tomorrow with his daughter, and they were going to go up to Kent State. She wants to go to Kent State.
Oh, how nice.
But they canceled out, and they found out nobody's at Kent State because of the winter break.
Oh.
But now he's got a son. And the son was 14 years old, and his mother heard some of the other parents at the school say, well, why don't you talk to this agent? Some of these kids get to do commercials out here. So she called him, the agent, sent the picture. He called her up right away, says, come on in tomorrow, I got a deal for him.
Oh, my goodness.
The agent signed him the next day, gave him 2 just small talking. He's such a natural.
Well, that's wonderful.
And it's $600 a day he gets out there.
Oh.
And he's done pilots for a couple TV shows.
Well, isn't that great?
And Michael sent a video to me about him, and the kid was so natural. It looks like he's got the same genes as his dad.
Aww.
His dad was an athlete at Coventry High School.
Is that right?
And he and his buddies walked past the room, and they saw 25 women there, girls there, and 1 guy. So they all joined the class. They didn't know what it was. It turned out to be drama. And they had a good drama teacher there. And he found out he had a good voice.
What is
Next
that?
thing I know, my wife and I are at Oklahoma, and the kids singing behind before the curtain comes up.
Sure.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Yes.
That kid's got a good voice. Who is that? It's your son, Michael.
Is
That's
that
him.
right?
Yeah, he's been in the drama classes.
Yeah.
And he said the first time somebody clapped, he's hooked.
Oh, that was it for me too.
That really?
Bye Bye Birdie, when I went on the stage,
And
we had an orchestra, which was, it was so exciting to me. At
Yeah,
the time I
well,
was 13.
for somebody as impressionable, boy, that would really put an iron stamp on you.
Oh, yeah.
Go.
There was
There's
nothing,
no obstacles, nothing. Just go.
nothing like the sound of
Well,
that
that's great.
applause.
You really have had a storied career. Very
Well, I've been
interesting.
very fortunate.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate, and now I can watch my nephews do this, and as long as they want to. They might not choose to stick with it, but they might. You never know.
Oh, you never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing so many people don't realize. They don't try to use their talents, find out what they can do or what they can't do.
Right.
If a person jumps around at different jobs or whatever, they say, oh, but he really is trying to find himself.
Sure.
You're lucky you found yourself.
I was very lucky in the beginning. You know, I just kind of, it worked out.
Yeah, with so many opportunities today, what would be your advice to a young person now?
That was interested in show business?
In show business or?
Well, probably to try to go to New York, because that's the place to go.
That's where it is, yeah.
Yeah.
How about Los Angeles?
Well, you know, I lived in New York for 14 years, and then I moved to New York, went to California, went back to New York, then went back to California. I thought I would be lucky out in California again the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't quite work out that way. I still did commercials, but I thought I would be on a sitcom or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought that's what was next for me. Didn't really pan out that way. But I became a good waitress. I gotta tell you. Until I hurt myself.
Did you get lots of good tips?
I did.
Wonderful.
That was a great opportunity as well.
So there's so many young kids with stars in their eyes
Yes.
that do they realize how tough it is to get moving? Unless
Well,
you
it
get
is
the
tough
breaks.
unless you get lucky.
You get lucky, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Kendley was.
Oh, John
He's
Kendley.
quite an impresario.
He definitely changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I got my Actors Equity card. Because you kind of need that if you want to be in the theater in New York.
Uh-huh.
People wait many years for that, and I got that at 15, which was kind of...
That was a real stroke
It was
of
a real
luck,
blessing, yeah. It was a real blessing. He was a great man. He's passed away,
Yeah.
but he was a wonderful, wonderful man.
Yeah,
I worked for him for 3 years.
in Youngstown, too.
Well, we
didn't
were
you?
in Warren.
Warren, Ohio,
We
yeah.
would do
on the
our-
Packard Music Hall.
Well, later they went to what's it called down there? E.J. Thomas in
Oh,
Akron.
yeah, E.J. Thomas here.
But we started out in Warren, Ohio. We would do our show in Warren, then we would go to Columbus, and then we would go to Dayton, Ohio. And while we were in Dayton, Ohio, we would rehearse for the upcoming show. And then we'd go back to Warren and do the same thing. And I learned how to learn quickly from doing all of those
Evidently.
shows. Yeah.
You had to
I
be
learned.
a quick
So
learner.
when I got hired for the Gold Diggers, we learned so many songs,
Mm-hmm.
so many songs, like in a short amount of time, and we did so many songs on our show every week, and I just learned everything quickly because I knew how.
Great. Well, now, have you ever thought about going to the university or Stark State in their drama classes
No.
and teaching? Because
Oh,
you have such a wealth of...
I thought you meant to study.
no, not to study, but you have such a wealth of experience.
Well,
Both
in
practical
musical comedy,
and
I
musical
did. In
and
musical
everything else.
comedy, I did. Yeah, but I didn't go to college. I mean, I certainly don't have any sort of degree for teaching.
Uh-huh.
But I used to teach a commercial acting workshop. I taught a couple of those.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that I was asked to do because I did so many commercials, and the casting people showed an interest in me. So,
Ray, do you have any questions?
Ray,
Do you have any aspirations for
Hi,
show
Ray.
business?
Oh, no.
No, not at all.
No.
Then
I'm
he
always
snuck a
behind-
video in on me on
I'm
the
always
show.
behind the camera.
oh well, that's all right. That's a
Yeah,
beautiful
I-
thing.
but-
Can't
Yeah.
do anything without you.
Yeah, I did 2 programs last night, and I've got another one tonight.
Okay.
So
Wow, you
it's
keep
for the
busy.
city, yeah.
He
Look at
does
that.
everything for the city here.
Yeah.
That's
Well, we've been
wonderful.
doing this for what?
Well,
8 years or so.
Yeah.
We were on, what is it, the,
Well, actually, almost 10, because I started in 2007, so this would be the 10th year.
yeah, with the parent company of, well, WNIR was the parent company.
Okay.
And Time Warner, we were on what, 12
Well,
stations?
Yeah, Time Warner Cable.
Time
it
Cable.
had, 12 different sections,
Sure.
Yeah.
different localities.
We did a show once a
to go
week.
to. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, for how long?
Half-hour
About
show.
6 years?
Yeah, it was just about that. And
Boy.
then, what was it? Well, your website went out, and of course, they had cut down the number of shows or the cable companies that they went out to. So
Uh-huh.
it was no longer, economical to just be on a couple of stations. So that's why you
We
cut
switched.
down that. And I says, well, there's one thing we could do is get on the internet. And there we could have the shows available 24/7. It's video on demand. And so I got a system to record it. However, the only thing I didn't like, it was very low quality.
Oh.
It was standard definition. It was like VHS quality, and I didn't like that. But we ran the course on that. His internet service provider, the one who had his website, they went under or whatever, and then I finally, in my system, it failed. Power supply went out. So then we finally thought about YouTube, so he contacted someone who could get us set up on
I
YouTube.
see.
And then he got a new website generated. So once those items were in place, then we got it going again. So
Well, that's
It's
a
just-
beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really. Well, do you still do any singing?
I sing in the car. Not really. No.
You don't have any music to take with you then to play anything for. I was just thinking, you could reprise some of these roles you had.
Well, I'm a
And,
little old for some of those roles that I had.
Well, some of the songs anyway.
Oh, the songs.
Yeah,
I love
the
the old
songs,
songs. We had well, he's still with us. God bless him. Lee Hale was our musical arranger. And I learned so many songs during the Dean Martin show from Lee Hale. And I must say, those are the best songs. We did lots of medleys with Dean Martin. So in a medley, there are several songs. So, you learn a little bit of each song. Yeah.
That would be great to
I
have
know,
you back on a few times and you reprise some of the songs. The only problem is copyright, right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But there's such a
That's
thing
true.
as fair use, but
Yes,
but
yeah.
they YouTube doesn't recognize that.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
they'll knock you off right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then they kind of fluctuate back and forth whether to say it's really fair use or
Yeah.
whatever. They kind of verify that you're not collecting money for doing this, so then they let you back on. But
That'd
Yeah.
be great if you
Yeah.
Well, I've often thought about if I found the right musicians of doing a little act somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And I might still.
Yeah, it'd be great. You've got the talent to do it. Gene Fiocca, has a dance band.
Don't know that name.
Well, he is president of Rubber Associates now. He's been a musician. I went to college with him and is a fraternity brother. And he has a band and he has dances in the wintertime. I think once a month, various places.
Is that right?
And I'm sure he'd love to hear you.
Well, maybe I'll meet him.
Uh-huh.
Because I do have some music.
Yeah, he's been to the fitness center, but then he's dropped out. If I see him again, I will mention you.
Okay.
And I got your number all.
Okay.
And
Sounds good.
this was great. Well, thank you very much.
Well, it is, Ernie, like I say, you're a legend, and it is absolutely my pleasure to sit here with you and Ray.
okay. One thing, let's go and
Sure.
let people know that, you can see these videos on YouTube. And one thing that's important is to actually subscribe to the service. Let me pull up YouTube on here. I'll pause this out and I'll go to the website, and on let me cancel this out.
One other thing, Ray is going to send me a good picture of you and I here.
Okay.
And I used to, when we were on TV, I used to have promotional, and we have our own printing at where I'm now.
Okay.
And my daughter runs the place, and I work for her.
Ah.
And we make color promotional pieces of each show. And I'd post them at the fitness center, and
Oh.
I'd give them out and all that, and it worked.
Wow.
So I've asked Ray if he could email me then one of the good pictures. We can.
Nice.
I think anyone would be a great picture of her, but I better make sure you got my right side so I don't show my honker.
Okay, now what you do is you go on YouTube. If you've got like an iPad or a tablet, you should get the app that has the YouTube website. And in the search area, you type in Ernie's TV. Then once you get that, you click on the icon for Ernie's TV, and then you'll see the main website for it. And then it'll show you all the videos that are available. You want to subscribe. It has an area here where you can subscribe, and the reason for that is whenever there's a new video available, they will notify you of that new video. Also, by subscribing to it, you're seeing all the videos that are available. There was an interesting trip we made 2 months ago. We were on a KC-135 Stratotanker, and we refueled 2 sets of 4 F-16 fighter jets. Let's see if I can pull this up.
I like to say that you and I, Ray, got recalled to the Air Force for one day.
No, yeah.
I tell that some of the wise guys, they say, oh, my God, are we that hard up?
Oh, boy. Let's see, go and pull up these.
But you have to sign on as a crew member.
No, well, that was just for the physical.
And it's a hold harmless too. But I got a kick out of it. You're signing on as a crew. But my age, I want to be a crew member on an airplane, a military airplane. But it'd be great, I think you'd really enjoy it. Like nursing homes.
Mm-hmm.
We're always looking for something.
Sure. Yes.
And the only problem is you got to have your own music,
Yes.
And you don't worry about anything with YouTube or.
Right. Right.
They won't pursue you on that.
Yeah.
But you can buy good sets and get the music.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a couple of gals on that all they did was gospel, the original gospel songs.
Oh.
And so they had their husbands had the music for them.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a screenshot of the video that I made,
Glasses.
and you could see the KC-135 there at the corner, and here there's 3 waiting in line. The 4th one, he's actually getting refueled at this point.
Oh, gee.
So this is off the screenshot. You could see this is 45 minutes into the video. So I
Wow.
caught it at that point.
How
And,
cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
we,
was really good. So let me show. That way they can see here on the air. But if you go to the website and you click on, let's see, we can go on down. Let's see. Why doesn't it go on down? What am I not doing? show all. Oh, there it is. And it shows more videos. A couple months ago, we did an interesting one at the Green Library. A man talked about Akron and its role during World War II. He mentioned that in 1910, the population of Akron, Ohio was 69,000. 10 years later, the population was 200,000.
Gee.
There was a little community in California. They said, we've got to pay attention to what Akron, Ohio is doing. They're getting growth there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That little community,
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's
They were
right.
copying Akron, Ohio.
You know-
But he had all kinds of interesting facts about that.
Yeah.
There's more videos here that let me.
Well, see, the library's always looking for things that many of them are crafts and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always interested. And I got a sudden thought, it'd be great if you could get something recorded and offer a service to the library about you singing Broadway. It's Paula singing Broadway. And you think, and all the people at that talk we're at were older people.
Yeah, they remember
And
the
they
Dean
flock
Martin
in
show.
those places. I don't think there's a seat available, was there, just to hear this guy talk? He's from Akron U.
Yeah. It was actually posted in a couple of the local newspapers.
Well, they-
and one thing I caught was that they had two different dates listed in the two different papers. So I said, because of that, how about if I record it, and then if anyone comes in and says, I heard it was to be tonight, well, that was already last week. Well, then they could watch the show. So that's why I recorded it and put it on the internet. There's an
That'd
old
be-
program here that we had recorded. You've heard of Miracle on the Hudson.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we interviewed the co-pilot. He was the one who was flying the plane when they hit the geese, and also the air traffic controller. They were only in the air 5 minutes, but it took a little over an hour for them to tell their
Yeah.
whole story about that. And it was interesting where that after the accident happens, they take the air traffic controller and they put him in a sealed room so he can't talk to anyone. He can't see, can't phone anybody. He can't watch any TV or radio. He can't be on the internet. He
Yeah.
has to be completely isolated. The first time he could talk was in front of Congress. But they had him in that room, and they thought 12 hours later, don't you think we should tell the air traffic controller that no one died in the accident? You could just think, going through his mind, I was possibly the last one to talk to anyone on board that plane. So here we got Miracle on the Hudson, and right here I've got the air traffic controller on this part of the video, but of course this is showing it, the whole thing. It was put on by the ECOPA, and that was March 9th, 2012, that this recording was made. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's see, let me go and,
Be great,
Jump
Paul,
up.
if you could hook up with a piano player or something, because every organization is always looking for, that's what I do now. I give talks about my military experience, flying experience, and many other things also. And the military organizations that did one in Youngstown, did one here, Turkey Foot Island Club, Kiwanis clubs and all, they're always looking for something to show or give or,
Mm-hmm.
And I know right away about 3 organizations that snap up something like that. Paula singing Broadway.
Well, you never know.
That could be great. It'd be a good hobby, for you.
Mhm.
Bring you back,
I don't know if I'm that good anymore. I was better when I was younger. I
You never
I'm
know.
not. I don't mean to put myself down. It's just that I'm a little rusty.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. But you never know.
Yeah, you never
You
know.
never know.
Hey, well, thank you for
Hey,
coming here, and
Ernie, it's my
and,
pleasure.
well, I'll enjoy watching it,
Okay.
and I'll try to get those colored promotional sheets. So this done
Okay.
8.5 by 11,
Okay.
and we can print them on a color printer,
Okay.
and then put your name on it and a picture of you and all, and then maybe we can bring something up from the Gold Diggers also.
Okay.
Put it on there. But I know that we can work something up like the Gold Digger returns or whatever.
Right.
Or watch
Mhm.
Paula tell her story on YouTube or Ernie's TV.
Well, I'm glad you think it's interesting enough
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, that'll be okay with you if I make flyers though.
Sure.
Okay, good. I know.
Sure.
First place I'll put them up is this fitness club.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, you want to get a photo
Okay.
in here?
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, let me go ahead and switch on. Yeah, is that HDR? Yeah, it's on auto. So there we go. Okay.
Okay,
Let me
very
show you
good.
this. Hit the right button to, okay. Yeah. There. Oh, boy.
Who's that old guy next to that pretty lady there?
You look great, Ernie.
You're only saying that
No, I mean
because
it.
it's true.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, with the talent you've got, and all of that, and there's so many ideas you can come up with. Talk about your life story. How you went and what you did, and people are interested in that. Especially the older people.
I think.
Nursing home people or people like we had at the library there.
Mhm.
There wasn't anybody there under the age of 60, I think.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of nostalgia for that
Sure.
because I hear so often that the best music was back then.
Oh, I agree.
Nothing ever been written since then except
I agree.
this garbage.
It's definitely different. Yeah.
Well, it was
Those
a
were the
pleasure,
days. Well, thank you, Ernie.
and
It's a pleasure for me too.
great. I hope it brought
Thank you,
back you
Ray.
some memories and
Okay.
all. And,
Oh yeah.
Okay, then we'll call it an end, and just be sure and go on YouTube, search for Ernie's TV, click on the icon, and then subscribe. That way you'll get all the notice of the videos, and so that's the way to see them.
Okay.
So I'll send you the notice. Well, give me your email address. And
Okay.
I'll send that to you.
Okay.
Okay, we're closing this out. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.